We are live, people. Welcome to Westworld Season 2, Episode 7. Les Noches. This was a fantastic. How's it going, guys?
You sound like you're doing. Wait, I'm hearing echo.
I know I'm getting echo. I don't get it. Andrew, what's up? I'm gonna sign out. You introduce yourself, so I'm jump back in again.
Okay.
I can hear it.
I hear it too.
Andrew, kick it off.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew Kam. That's Kam. We're live for our what's it called again? Westworld. Yeah, I forgot the name of the show. Please excuse my slowness tonight. I'm returning from a red-eye flight last night and operating on very little sleep in the last 48 hours. But we're here and having a good time. Joined, as always, by Lou. Lou, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
Doing pretty good, other than as I mentioned, the late flight that I got in on last night. But the show kind of helped wake me up a little bit. Not all the way, but we'll get there. So,
dude, this show was action-packed from beginning to end. Granted, I get it. You were on a red eye, so you're dealing with airline fatigue. So.
All right. Can you guys hear me clearly? Is it good? We good?
Yeah,
I hear you fine.
All right. Let's kick things off, guys. Apologize for that, but episode 7 felt like an episode 8.
Yeah, Lou and I were just talking about it. I said this didn't wake me all the way up, but it did help because I'm coming back from a late night flight. But this one had like a lot of stuff going on, so it was pretty cool.
Yo, this was insane. I mean, so basically, we found out in this episode that Bernard was built with both Ford and Dolores. I mean, that's why Dolores has a lot of free reign and power in this place. Because Ford gave her some access into creating her own, or at least creating one of her own in a sense.
Yeah, and he used her basically to verify Bernard because one of the lines he said, not Bernard, Arnold. Yeah, he said like she knew you more personally than anybody else because Arnold was spending so much time with Dolores, like trying to learn from her and trying to talk to her and like get the park ready and just like really understand her consciousness and level of understanding of the world. So that scene we saw last week where she stopped and said, "No, that's not what he said." Like it makes so much more sense now. Obviously,
it does. Hey, Andrew, welcome.
Hey,
thanks for joining us.
Woo, boy, I am fresh from the episode, guys. As fresh as you can get.
Yeah, it was. I know we just kind of jumped in and started discussing, but one of the things we just said was that basically Ford created Bernard with the help of Dolores, and that gives more insight to why Dolores feels a little bit betrayed. But the one thing that we do realize is that the god of this universe is still Ford.
Yeah,
of course.
Ford he has not just super control. Homie went and said, "Look, I am the one who's coding Windows, and I have the secret sauce behind Windows protocol. So the MS-DOS, Unix, whatever you want to call it, like behind it, I have control of that."
It's like a Star Trek TNG episode where somebody's stuck in the computer. It's perfect.
Pretty much. All right, so I'll go around. Start off with Lou. What were your best parts of the episode? I know I can think where your best part was, but go ahead.
Dude, Teddy's the man.
I knew it.
Yo, Teddy beat the hell out of Galen, bro. Like nothing. That's a Sons of Anarchy reference to the Irishman who was getting his face pounded in.
Yeah, Teddy has become a beast. Like, you know what? I will have to say that's the hardest and the coolest I've seen James Marsden in any movie. Whether he's played Cyclops and he's played
not even that.
Lois Lane's boyfriend.
He's gonna go from this badassery from Westworld now to freaking Sonic the Hedgehog. Why?
Hey, look, let's leave that aside.
No,
No. Andrew, what was your best part of this episode?
It's it's kind of a weird thing. A little thing that I really like is whenever they're in the Crucible, or I think that's the term for it. It goes into
Matrix.
It goes into cinema widescreen, and I just love that little touch. That they have the extra to show you that you're the extra layer in. But overall, I'd say I really like the battle royale in the map room. I thought that was pretty well choreographed and well shot.
All right.
Yeah, homie was a dummy. How do you get seduced by an android?
Yeah.
It was
so obvious that's the way it was going.
Yeah. I knew that was going to happen once he's like, stop, Mr. Kamiko, how about you, man?
Yeah, I gotta go with the Men in Black shootout scene because it was like so obvious what was gonna happen, but I still like seeing it unfold. Like it was such a weird thing for him to like dawn on him, like, holy crap, this girl's actually has more than just what Ford gave her. Like this isn't what's supposed to happen.
Exactly.
But he's under the impression that it's Ford.
Yeah, he thinks it's Ford, and it's like she just comes to like, I don't know about Ford, but I sure as hell want to see you die.
Exactly. And I was like, no, the Men in Black cannot die here. I mean, this guy requires a glorious death. Not even for the fact that we know his backstory, but just from who he was. Like, you remember last season, before everything was connected to who he was, his backstory and his present, the Man in Black was still a strong character in the show. So his death could not just be like that. It has to be a lot and glorious. So I was happy to see he didn't die.
Not yet.
Yeah, his daughter is going to save him. So he's going to be hitting his daughter at this point.
But see, here's something, because we've got the trailer at the end of this episode, but then earlier today, HBO released the next 3 episodes trailer, and the Men in Black is going to go through something.
I didn't see that. I saw the episode at the end. I get why they showed us that, because next episode is episode 8, and that is a distraction from everything that's going to happen in that episode, or at least the big reveal coming from episode 8. But what I liked with this episode, and okay, let me know if I'm wrong, but at the end when Ford said pick up the weapon, he and basically shows Ford shooting him, but basically he was going through a process where he was debugging himself, as the guy said. I still think that was the creation of Arnold, not the Arnold that was dead, but almost a sentient version of him. I mean, I could be wrong, but it felt like he was going through that process. Even when Ford was talking to him and said, "I will help you get to where you're supposed," something in those lines. I was like, technically, tell me he's going to help him get to where he's supposed to. And then the guy was like, "It looks like he's debugging himself."
Well, and he's also debugging sort of towards the end, isn't he? Whenever he gives up everything, supposedly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really liked how his acting was really stellar in this episode. I forgot the actor's name.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yes, his props to his acting in this, because I've been impressed with just about every scene he's been in so far this season.
Yeah, was good. I like the reveal of Arnold's tinkering in the Westworld before he did it in the real world. The reveal of the house, I'm like, oh crap. The house that they showed in, like, what was it, the first episode of the season or the second?
So that was, so that's the thing. Did she actually ever go outside?
Dolores?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Dolores did go outside, but remember, the house on the outside wasn't finished.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But the house inside of in the cradle was already built.
Yeah.
That was his test subject house to see how he would like it. So
I'm glad they introduced the cradle, because it totally makes sense, because with such artificial intelligence, you would have to play around with it on a VR or AR segment where you can flesh it out before you transfer it to a host body. Even though they don't really focus on that in the show, except this episode in that short period. And did you guys notice that the dog went everywhere with
Ford? Yes.
Ford, because like you said, he was his anchor, right? Pretty much.
Like what's it called? It's called Totem from movie
Inception.
Inception, yeah. Like it's like that's the thing that lets you remind you all the time, like, hey, this isn't a memory, this isn't a dream, like this is the thing that's grounded to let you know this is the simulation or whatever.
All right, so where's Ford now?
Listen to what Ford said. Listen to what Ford said. He goes, if I was to create myself a host body, it would decay in a matter of days.
And he would go mad like
like James Fellows did. And here I don't have that problem. I control it all. But so I don't think he needs the dog, but the dog is just more maybe like a sentimental value for him.
No, I know that. I think the dog is just to remind him that he's a human in a machine.
But because he said it himself, he goes,
no, because I think
Lord killed me so I could be here.
No, he said be here, but it makes a very. It's something you probably won't admit, but it's just to say that, look, I can live here without going mad, but I may forget that I am human. That's the difference, as opposed to outside, where when I go there, I would lose it because I would not be able to comprehend. But he also said that eventually they'll get it right if they have it. Once they have it, they'll eventually get it right, no matter how you look at it. So it looks like he never actually solved that problem like we thought he did.
Yeah.
He just went the other way, and he's all about the freeing of the machine minds, because he's destroyed the only thing that could have stopped them, which was the cradle. The cradle could have still stopped them by ending their programming, because they all have Wi-Fi, or at least 5G.
You want to know what this reminds me of? You've probably already seen this season, E, but remember Ali in the 100?
What episode?
I believe it was season 3, where she would give them the pill, and then they would travel into a virtual reality world.
No, I have not seen. Thank you for not spoiling it. Stop right there. Stop right there. You know what? I feel you. Whatever you're thinking, I'll get there.
Yeah,
eventually.
But I liked how Ford was kind of like having Bernard deduce what was happening. He goes like, "Wait a minute, like we're not trying to code hosts. We're trying to decode humans."
Yeah.
And then like it dawned on him that that's what the park has been about all the while for the company that controls it. It's like they don't care about, like, they're making money, but the real money is in the data, and that's like why they don't care if every single guest dies. They're like, we'll pay the families, we'll get their estates in order, whatever. But it's worth trillions of dollars to have the data that's in Abernathy's head. So
it's Facebook and Google in 40 years.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it really is. It's that human data mining. It's funny because I was hanging out with Jaime this weekend, and I saw Jaime again today, and he said, the weirdest thing happened. I met him on Saturday, and we were talking about Star Wars Solo. And I said I wasn't watching the movie. We were just talking about it. We were talking about Star Wars, different things, different Star Wars movies. And then he goes, then I go to YouTube, and my first suggestion was a Star Wars movie. Why? And of course, there's a microphone pickup. Granted, he said, I can clearly remember I did not search for anything Star Wars. The only thing I did was talk about it. But, these companies are decoding us in many ways more than possible. So, again, your microphone is getting picked up. Just saying that.
Yeah, and that could, even if it's not the microphone, that could be something where they're looking at your data and saying, like, all right, this guy talks about Avengers, and he talks about space and Westworld. And then they correlate that and say, there's a 77% chance that people talk about these two things would be interested in this third thing. And then they'll feed that to you. And that's what's happening all the time. And then, so imagine that in Westworld, they've got 30 years worth of all this data from humans coming in and interacting with hosts. and now they can correlate and build algorithms based on that. That's insane.
But why would they use a host to store it all and not like a supercomputer?
Well, because
look at what they're going through now.
No. Think about it, right? It was because it was not. They don't have full control of Westworld. They never did. Delos was. It's like The Expanse, right? Sci-Fi had no full control of The Expanse. It was the production company. So thus, it's the same thing. Ford had full control of the park, and he still has control of the park in a sense, right? At least till this very episode. So Delos was running this stuff on the side through the Man in Black, and they wanted to capture that information because once they take it out, then it has nothing to do with the park. It's just now fully Delos Corporation, and they can come out and say, "Hey, we can make you immortal for $1 million for initial payment, and then every year." Is a $500 million backup, and then if you want multiple bodies, it will cost you an extra $100,000. Already, I made up a payment plan for this, which would be about $10,000 a month, roughly. But yeah, that's what they wanted to do, and it was sell immortality on a certain level, right? And Ford flipped the script. He's like, "Fuck that, no." I still, in a sense, I still don't get Ford's reasoning for it. I don't get it. I mean, like it's like you remember, so because part of season 1, Ford said that Bernard wanted the host to be free, but now he's almost taking that role as not Bernard, Arnold. Sorry, he's now taking that role of what Arnold wanted, and he was kind of against it initially, or was he just playing a ruse? So that it felt like he was just trying to run the company.
I know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I don't think if Ford was at that point yet where he realized that they were not just machines. I think in Ford's mind, it was like, Arnold, you're being too sentimental. These are machines. And I think over time, he kind of came around to the idea that maybe it's not just a hunk of code and some synthetic flesh.
No, I agree on that part. But the thing is that last season, which wasn't years ago, was just basically 2 weeks, a month back in the show timeline. He was telling Bernard, he was like, "No, I mean these things. My partner wanted something else, and I didn't think it that way." So the only thing we got from Ford was he thought of himself as God. Remember when he had the sit down dinner with the lady of Bernard's girlfriend? Where he was terraforming the place and he froze all the machines, and he basically just portrayed that, "Yeah, I'm God." That's the best thing we got from Ford, but never to the side. Or I guess maybe he was just playing a ruse. I guess Andrew, what do you think? See, I know you're about to say something.
Oh no. Yeah, it's. I would be interested to see any more flashbacks that we might have between Arnold and Robert, both to kind of help kind of flesh it out, because really wasn't the point to set up everything that he set up. You would think that he would have had to have been converted to Arnold's cause pretty much right after he killed himself, or had Dolores kill him.
Probably.
So that's kind of what
Wait. He had Dolores kill Arnold?
No.
No. Just as like.
Oh yeah, man. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say that.
Yeah. So
Dude,
that's kind of.
I have a feeling when we go into season 3, he'll come back for like another episode or 2, and they'll dive in deeper into his plot, because he had Dolores kill him before a bigger agenda, and it's going to take probably all 5 seasons to figure out what it really is.
Wait,
besides just playing these weird games.
Yeah, they said 5 seasons.
So it's going to be. Hopefully, we can keep Anthony Hopkins up alive for 5 more seasons.
No, it's not that. It's Andrew's reactions. Like, where's the story going to go?
Yeah, I'm looking at the way the story is. I'm like,
I was
thinking 3 seasons, 4 seasons max.
Yeah, I was just thinking they're going to end the show with everyone, all the humans plugged in, powering everything, and it's going to be the start of the Matrix. With the crucible that they have.
I would watch that show.
No, I mean, but there's that, but there's also the fact that can they actually procreate will be another mission on the next season. Not just procreation in that sense, but like, do you form the mentality of your child and then you create a body?
Hopefully they handle it physical. Hopefully they handle it a little better than Battlestar Galactica did.
Yeah. That aspect of it. I mean, technically, Starbucks was technically that.
Yeah.
And then an angel at the same time.
I love Battlestar Galactica, but there was like a couple points I'm just like, come on, guys.
Yeah. They slipped on me. All right, so a couple of comments here. Becca Bortam says Maeve better be alive. And where is Hector? Who's Hector again?
Oh, he's a cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's away. The dude who rescued Maeve is gonna probably save her again. He ran away because Dolores would have killed him.
He did smart.
He was smart. He didn't run away. He just hid.
I can tell you guys this. Watch the HBO trailer for the next 3 days, and you'll see
3 episodes.
Maeve is in the trailer.
Okay.
Okay.
Mark Eric Lane said, Ford went from my favorite character to the absolute worst person. No, Ford went to my top-rated person again. I mean, sorry, Mark. I know. What do you guys think?
Ford is God. That's it.
It's nice to see more Anthony Hopkins. I always like how his portrayal of Ford. So yeah, more screen time. I'm game.
I enjoyed him holding the machine gun and just murking people like.
He probably enjoyed it.
Yeah, I loved how he was like, "Yeah, Bernard, I know you're soft. Don't worry, I got you." And then you just see him with the gun.
Yeah, I mean, basically, he just took over. That's what happened.
He went full Hannibal Lecter without the knife.
Yeah, pretty much. This is for you. This definitely is for you, Louis. Mark Eric Lane says Teddy got those gains. Yo, it wasn't the fact that Teddy was brutal. It was the fact that this is one of the few times I like James Marsden as an actor, but this is a few times that you see him be menacing, and you're like, oh, he will take you out. Because in most movies and shows he's been in, he's always been the very nice, soft character. And just the facial expression, like even him pointing the gun at the other Helmsworth brother, the third one. I can't remember
the least
his name.
Important out of him.
He literally looked like Teddy looked like he was gonna just take you out. I was like,
just make a move, and I'll blow your brains out.
Yeah,
man, it's intense. It's almost as jarring as like seeing Robin Williams as like an evil murderer or something in a role.
1 hour photo.
Yeah, what do you say?
1 hour photo.
I never saw 1 hour photo.
Yeah,
he was the villain in 1 hour photo.
Okay, I might have to check that out. I might have to see it.
Oh, yeah.
It'll haunt.
That's the one where creepy guy like looking at everyone's negatives.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll see that in daylight.
Oh man.
So what else did you guys notice in the episode? Anything that caught your eye throughout this episode?
Eugene Carter says that's why he died 1,000 times to set you up for this.
Oh, you mean Teddy?
Yeah.
Oh. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that caught my attention. At the end, when Ford was saying that it's time, I can't remember the lines he used, but it was to me, it was referring to him being liberated. He started flashing through memories and scenes at that point, including them in the when he was looking at all the dead people in the water. Mm-hmm. All that stuff. So I'm going. I looked at that more, like I said before. I looked at that as that's the not just the liberation of him being aware, but to me, it's the birth of a very different type of consciousness. Whether it's him recreating Arnold or something else. I don't know. What did you guys take from that scene at the end?
I don't know. You're thinking more like maybe it's just becoming one entity of between both of them, not more Ford, or are you thinking more Ford trying to enhance himself versus just going whatever will become whatever we become?
I think Ford right now is a passenger on Bernard's brain for now because he's out of the cradle and the cradle is destroyed. He's a passenger, but I think at that point he wanted Bernard to wake up. That's the easiest answer I could get, but it felt like, like Bernard was in tears, and at the end when he told the location, and to me that location means something else. So it means that he had realized something.
It's not that. Listen to what the Viking guy said. He goes, "We're going back to Sector 14, Zone 6." So they've been there.
Yeah, we'd have to go and look it up. Here's one thing. What's the latest that we've seen Bernard in the middle time frame?
To me, this episode was the latest.
This episode
just because of because he flashed back to them
towards the end.
Nah, I think this is the latest at this point.
Well, because eventually
it looks like it's present time now.
Yeah,
because eventually Bernard has to end up waking up in the sand on the beach. So I'm just trying to think how.
Yeah, but no, it doesn't make sense though, because if he wakes up at the beach, then he's meeting Vikings guy right there. But he's also met him in this episode, so this
is the latest one.
This has to be the latest.
I think the beach has already happened.
Because the beach also flashed in his head when he did that whole.
And seeing all the hosts that were in the water was after the beach, and we've seen that before, and they referenced that in this episode. So I think this is present day in terms of the timeline.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Awesome.
Mark Eric says Marv's kid is with Ghost Nation in Sector 16. Is that where they were going to again, or no?
They're going to Sector 16, but I don't know if that's where Ghost Nation is.
Yeah, I
think it might make sense because next episode we see from the preview that we're going to spend a lot of time with the Ghost Nation, and we see not only that, but we see their origin story or whatever, and how it connects back to Wyatt and all them
to the maze. And,
yeah, so it's like this. It's like everything's interconnected there.
Yeah, plus the Ghost Nation guys. Can you hear Echo?
No.
Yeah, I'm hearing it. Yeah, I think it might be blue.
Hello.
Yeah.
Echo. I can hear Echo. Guys in the chat, if you hear Echo, let me know. If not, we just have to deal with it. Let's see. This episode ends with Ghost Nation taking Marv's kid. Yes. Maeve. Sorry, I said Marv. My bad.
Mentioning Marv from Home Alone.
So the maze and the Valley Beyond is all in Ghost Nation territory because no one has ever necessarily ventured there before, right? In the show. So most likely that's where everything is. And also Ghost Nation's wife was taken away. I have this is now me throwing like a wild ass theory out there. Ghost Nation's wife might have something to do with either Bernard, Ford, or the Man in Black. Just saying, because we've never seen her as a character in this show. She's new. Cool. Season 1, she never showed up. We've seen Ghost Nation, maybe that guy, but at least that representation of the guy, not necessarily him, but we've seen, the paint, the colors, and all that. So this is telling the story of him. His wife was taken away. He was not in full war paint. He was always just normally, casual, regular clothes, and then wife was taken in. He changed to warrior paint. So why was she taken? And what's the tie?
He was taken by someone in a car.
Oh yeah, she was taken. No, she was taken by the regular. Yeah, but I think she plays a role tying into the storyline, whether it's through Bernard, whether it's through Ford. I mean Arnold, Bernard, Ford, or the Man in Black.
My guess is that it's Ford because this was supposed to be starting a new storyline for the Native Americans. I remember they mentioned that last year. Like all of them being in white paint was supposed to be them changing the stories for them.
Yeah.
So it's probably something related to that. They had to like take her in for like make some changes and all that.
I mean, it could be that. Or it could be what do you call it again? It could be someone in their past lives they were trying to work on and bring back. I was going to say the Man in Black's wife, but nah, I don't think that's the case. I think it has to do with one of the two creators in there, but I could be wrong, man. I'm just throwing out wild theories out there because it's Westworld. You can throw anything out; it probably will stick.
Eric, the one he used to video chat with was the woman from Firefly, so that's not Bernard's wife.
No, it's Arnold's wife.
It's Arnold's wife.
Yeah, it's Gina Torres. She's credited in there as Arnold's wife.
Yes, Arnold's wife.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's awesome.
No, yeah. Mr. Kamika is going through the IMDb's like real tight.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of her, so that's why.
But the Indian world that we're going to, Ghost Nation Land, he's going to experience most likely his 2-week travels too.
Who?
The guy from Longmire.
Okay. Oh, the Ghost Nation guy. Okay.
Because he shows up when Ford was just killed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because we see Ford's corpse there. Yeah, it's going to be a giant montage episode of.
Yeah. It's a giant montage. Remember, it's episode 8. This episode got us close to a reveal. In a sense, episode 8 has to give us the what is it? And
the oh my god moment.
Yeah, and so what's the
trademark?
Yeah, so what's the oh my? And it's a trademark for HBO now, pretty much. I mean, Game of Thrones set the standard. Every other show is like following trade. So
what is be the reveal of the key?
So what? Okay, yeah, that's the question. So what do you think next episode is going to be? You guys in the chat also leave that. What do you think? What's the big reveal? You say the key, Andrew. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a montage episode up until the end where they reveal the key. Pretty much. that's what my solid safe theory is at.
Mr. Kamika.
It's going to be decrypting the entrance to whatever it is that the Man in Black is trying to prevent Dolores and everyone from getting to. That weapon, whatever, from like episode 3.
I still say it's Ford's physical body.
No, but we know where Ford's physical body is. He's dead. Like
no. I'm talking about. I still think Ford has really found a way to create that physical presence. I think Ford is also a liar, by the way. I mean, as much as he is God, he lies a lot.
He's a lying God.
He says whatever he wants to say. So I think it's that.
He says what he wants you to hear.
Yeah. Mark Eric says Maeve's daughter is the key. It's why Ghost Nation keeps going after her. She has been in the sector the whole time, and now that Ghost Nation has her, they can keep her safe.
So
you know what? She's not the key.
You think is she a biological product of?
No, she can't be. She's the same age and for the last 30 years that the Man in Black is killed.
True.
Oh, at least
balance our lactica seeping in.
I mean, I do like the notion that she is the key, part of the key, but right now, I mean, I don't know. Also, knowing
she's not the key because Abernathy was the key, and Dolores took his little.
No. Abernathy's not the key. Abernathy's just a vessel that carried information. He's a USB flash drive. Let's call him what he is. Dude was not that important. He just happened to be that secure flash drive was running around the city.
But for them, he is like, because when Dolores is asking Tessa Thompson, like, you put stuff in him, how do I get it out? And she's like, you wouldn't know what to do with it even if you wanted to. And then Dolores like revealed like, oh, now you want to be like us. And she showed that she understood what they're trying to do. So I think he's definitely a huge part of like everything. Like it's not just as simple as they're using him to get the data out. Whatever they're trying to do, Abernathy is the key to getting there and getting it done.
No, I disagree. I think Abernathy is still USB flash drive because Abernathy is dead. Abernathy is brain that carries the vast amount of information that they spent 30 years on James Delos is in that, you know, his little light bulb. Actually, that's what it looks like. so that is the key. Now the thing about it is Dolores doesn't know how to use that stuff. She understands, but she doesn't use it. You know, Maeve, it probably has a better job in deciphering that than she does.
But I don't think she wants to decipher that. I honestly feel the Men in Black showed her how to get out of the park another way, and that's where she's going to. It's not a secret weapon. It's a doorway to get out of the park. And her goal now is to get out of the park to wreak havoc on the real world.
Yeah, I mean, I do get it, but I think she doesn't understand what the real. To me, she really doesn't understand the real world is. She can wreak some havoc, but she'll be dead in no time.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, as much as she thinks she has a this is the park trying to curtail with its minimal man forces put out there. If they really want it, once they have a picture of her. And you know it's out there, APB with cops, as I hear sirens going on right now.
I mean, they know how to blend in, dude. You see what they did with the homies in the little one section, where they took all their clothes and just opened fire on the other group.
Oh no, I know, but I mean, like at the most, she will be in. Doesn't matter what she does, and they will become like wanted fugitives in our world, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to unite against you pretty much.
Yeah, she doesn't have access. She doesn't know how to control computers or hack into systems. That's a different case if she did do that. Because remember, this is in the future. This is our future, and then add another extra 30 years on top of that.
You know who's the only one missing so far still? Is Elsie.
She drove off. She went to go look for the vehicle.
Bernard told her to go get more weapons. And that's the last we've seen of her.
And told her to meet her at the Man in Black's location. He gave her the location to go because Ford said she's disturbing right now. So he still gave her the end location. So she probably will show up at in episode 10, pretty much.
Man,
if she comes at the last moment and saves the day, I will never watch this show again.
No, I don't think she'll save the day. I think she will save Bernard. That's the thing. Not save the day. I think she will save Bernard because her relationship with Bernard is now a weird one. He tried to kill her. He saved her, left her food, came back and saved her again, and now she feels like she feels like she understands Bernard, and you know he's a machine. He's now has more consciousness, and maybe that's not what he's like. It's a weird relationship. So I think she probably would just drag him out of whatever is going on and be like, let's go. That's probably what you get.
I'm going to make a prediction. I think that I think Bernard is going to end up killing Elsie, but they're going to do the whole, mirroring Robert's face sort of thing. So he's like doing it. I think that's my prediction for the next episode or two.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he already tried to kill her last. Like we thought he killed her last year. So I mean, if the show writers were smart enough, they wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, they're not going to do the Walking Dead.
It would have to be Dolores or somebody like that would kill her. That would cause anguish to Bernard. Because
I was thinking like if it's Robert that's forcing him to do it. That's like it's so.
I think that's where he actually would say no. That would be the first time he would actually stop Robert.
That'd be interesting to see, though.
I don't know if he could stop Robert. It seems to be Robert still has the like.
Nah, man, Robert is smart, man. He has like 2 lines of code that's like hard written. That's not just code. It's like the chip and code. so no matter what you think, like he's like, I got this shit covered completely. So. Plus, that 5G Wi-Fi in that park, man, is just tight, so he can do whatever he wants.
Dude, that ain't 5G, bro.
They're on like 8 or 9G by now. Like 30 years in the future. If they're still on 5G in 30 years, man, they're doing something very, very wrong.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely 8 or 9G because Maeve was using that 10G on all those people, just like using her quote unquote Professor X powers.
Yeah, well, you know what? Well, in 40 years, the sky will just be filled with Google hot air balloons with whatever 5G it's emanating.
like Mark says, Ford has jailbroken Bernard.
Absolutely fantastic, Mark. I love that. That's fantastic. It's good. Any other thoughts before we round up, guys? Anything else on this episode you want to point out?
Next week, the moment of truth.
Okay. All right. So, Mark, anyone else here? Did anyone? Okay. So, Lou, you said, what was your prediction again for episode 8? Sorry. Let's do a recap.
I don't remember.
Oh my God. Okay, Andrew, how about you? What was your prediction?
It's going to be a montage of kind of catching up where we are at with the
key,
and then the key.
Oh, yeah, that's what you said, Lou, too. Also the key. So, and Andrew, you said
I didn't say anything, but yeah, I agree with the other Andrew. I think it's going to be at the end, like the last 5 or 6 minutes, they're going to reveal what the key is, or what it's to.
I think it's going to be Ford's body. My mind is pretty weak. I know that. I had to throw something else other than agree with everybody else here and saying it's the key, goddamn key. But it'd be interesting to see, though. The one thing I do like about Westworld and what they've done so well is that this is one show that has a very interesting outside world that I've never seen, and I really don't care to see. But I want to see it. But it's not that the want or the need to see the outside world doesn't overweigh the need to enjoy the park itself.
Well, you're going to get the outside world. It's probably going to be within the next couple of seasons.
Well, I wonder if that's where Maeve's going to end up going. Where they're going to repair her on the outside.
Oh, with that dude, the writer.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get off the island, though. I mean, the island. Okay, let's put it this way. That's not an island. That's like is that Madagascar or something?
It's like a subcontinent.
I think it's probably like Macau or something. They do say that they're somewhere in Asia.
Yeah. We know that.
It can't be Hong Kong because there's no way they're gonna get that kind of space. I think it's probably like a man-made island somewhere off the South China Sea.
Wow. Yeah, it's massive though. I mean, the reason I said Madagascar, but the fact that you can. So my thing is like, how far in the future they can terraform, because then also my other thing is also that Mount Fuji that we saw. Was that real? Did they actually build that, or is just it's like the Jim Carrey movie.
It was really good CGI.
No, I mean, come on, we know that part. I'm just saying that for the park, did they actually build a Mount Fuji?
Well, I mean, how large would the subcontinent need to be to accommodate however many parks that they have?
It would have to be
like at least half the size of. It
has to be at least the size of Taiwan.
Yeah, I was thinking like half the size of Australia, even just to have for.
Because Westworld alone is going to be like a couple of city sizes.
Mm-hmm.
So if they've got 6 parks on there, that's going to be a pretty big piece of land.
That's why I remember season 1. A lot of people were like, "Is Westworld on the moon? Did they build it somewhere else?" Like, it was just all these theories of like, where is it? Because are you sure it's even on Earth in the first place?
Well, I don't know. That would be interesting for future seasons if it was on the moon, because they just add another layer of escape they have to do. They have got extra more seasons.
It would be crazy though. Like initially, it's funny. It would be crazy that even though we saw the military guys caught on a ship, it's like to get into Westworld, you still have to take your spaceship, land, dock, and get on a boat.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and a bunch of people who are very obsessed with the show and apparently very good at math, they estimate that it's 500 square miles just for Westworld, not counting the other 5 parks.
So let's say each park is equivalently the same size, right?
Yeah.
So that's like 3,000.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
What's 3,000 square miles in terms of country size?
Oh man, Wikipedia. Let's find it.
What's the U.S. from East Coast to West Coast? It's more than 3,000.
All right, list of states by square miles. Okay, so the smallest state is going to be Rhode Island. Is 1,000 square miles.
Okay, so it will be as big as
it's about
Connecticut.
The size. Yeah, Connecticut. It's a little bit smaller than Connecticut and bigger than Delaware. So that should give you.
If they wanted to go a little extra, it would be pretty much Connecticut or Hawaii to push it max. Hawaii is 6,400 square miles. So,
okay,
yeah.
So yeah, they could.
Okay, so you could probably make that. It would take a while, but
yeah. Well, they've got 30 years to do it. So
seriously, man. I mean, come on, bro. I believe it was the Chinese or the Japanese made a freaking airport on a man-made island in less than 10 years.
That was in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, it seems like they can control the weather to a certain extent too around Westworld.
I mean, that was also in China when the Olympics. They made sure it didn't rain. Just saying what the Chinese can do. So I think we know where Westworld is, and we know how they made it.
I don't know, but Marcos, this show is just Lost with robots.
Nah. This is better than Lost by a million times.
Well,
as long as these robots don't end up in purgatory, we're good.
The first 2 years of Lost were actually kind of good.
No, I agree. The first
after that is like so. Like we got to give this time. This show might still go off the rails like the next couple of years. That's why I was surprised when you guys were saying that's going to be like 5 seasons. I was like, how are they going to stay in this park for 5 years? Like there's got to be another end game that they take. After
they said 5 years is what they plan, but then again, they could revise it. Where by season 3, if ratings starts dying, then season 4 would be they just tell you where it's the end, and then that's where they would just fine tune things. So right now we know we're getting to season 3, so at least the very least we get into season 4 with the show, definitely.
Well, I guess we'll see. It's what was it? There's some shows where it's better to have just 4 seasons. What was it like? Battlestar, and kind of how everyone wishes Babylon 5 only had 4 seasons. So. I guess we'll see, but I don't know. Hopefully, I think there's a lot of good material that they have for at least another 2 seasons.
Oh yeah, I mean they can easily go.
It's all where they go this season, where it ends the season, which is going to determine how much longer they'll probably stay within this vicinity of this park.
Oh no, I think we're still in the park next season. I don't think we're leaving the park yet. I think it might be the exit out of the park, but I don't think we're going to leave the park because I think Ford has stopped the escape. Even though he says he's giving them free will, he wants them to suffer because the guy is a narcissist and he is Hannibal Lecter. So,
I'm calling it now. The series finale is going to be they rebuild, get everything up and running, and Ford somehow comes back and starts this shit all over again. The killing begins.
I mean, we shall definitely see. All right, guys. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. It's been a fun show. Thank you, everyone, for commenting in the chat. Also, if you're watching this later, definitely leave your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section. And I want to thank, of course, my fellow hosts, starting off with Mr. Andrew Cam. Where can we find you, Andrew?
You can find me on Twitter at AndrewCam, Kam.
Sweet. And of course, our second Andrew, who came in late because he was 12 minutes behind, according to his own reference point. Where can we find you on Twitter, Andrew?
Yeah, you can find me at Fat Produce on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and also I'm co-host of the Geek Book Club with Juan Magnell, and you guys, we've got Twitter and Instagram set up and Facebook set up for those. So yeah, that's where you guys can catch me.
All right, Geek Book Club as well as Fat Produce, and finally, of course, the one and only Bored Buddha Lou. I mean, that is your handle, but where can people find you?
You just said it, Bored Buddha.
There we go. All right, cool, guys. And myself, it's Bored at Work. Thank you very much for chiming in and joining us in this discussion. Join us next week because next week is going to be glorious. I will be on the West Coast, but I will do the show. So next week, it should be fun. Thank you.
Oh, you going to E3?
Yeah, I am. Peace.